There are very few games that get the same kind of reviews that Mixtape gets. So when I saw this game and saw that it's made by the developer Beethoven and Dinosaur, the creators of The Artful Escape, I was very, very excited. Seeing the reviews, I definitely saw a lot of people saying that it was good, mostly the critics, but then also we saw the user reviews, which were pretty bad. Now, I really wanted to try this game out for myself and see how it is, but yeah, let's see exactly how it is. Let's get right into it. So the story begins with this character named Rockford. Her name is Stacy Rockford, and she basically tells you all about the history of the compact disc player. So it's basically telling you a little bit about the history of music, and I thought this was kind of a little interesting, but yeah, I thought that this was a little bit dragged out, and if you can see exactly what people are saying about this game, these characters are so bland and boring, and they have really no personality to them. They're so annoying. They do not have enough time to even get fleshed out anyway, right? And this is my biggest problem with Mixtape, okay? These characters are so bad. Okay, they're so bad. They're badly written. They're really like they have no interesting dialogue. They really have nothing interesting going for them, okay? And this is the biggest problem that I have with Mixtape. Considering that there is very little gameplay in this game to begin with, I have to say, okay, if you're looking for a game with a lot of gameplay, this is definitely not a game that you should be playing, okay? Like for sure. But anyway, after that whole sequence is done, you finally get into the gameplay portion, which is like a skateboarding thing here. And really, honestly, this is kind of boring. Yeah, sure, you have some interesting music playing, which unfortunately I cannot play due to copyright reasons. If you want to see this game with the original music, you can go ahead and you can go on my stream. I will link it down in the comments below. But yeah, I have to say, guys, this whole section here is bland and boring, and there's really nothing like interesting. Yeah, sure, you can apparently jump over the cars, but you can't jump over the trucks, and it's just so boring. You're just listening to this song, okay, which is a decent song. I mean, hey, I have nothing wrong with the song, but the problem is that there is really nothing interesting happening. Okay, you're just feeling the music, and the thing is that even feeling the music or anything like that, right? You want to be able to show some way of showing, where you're going or what you're doing, right? If you want to tell a story with music, which is what the Artful Escape did very well, okay, with visuals and music, and this is the thing, okay, Mixtape completely and utterly fails every single time. If we're talking about a game that can go ahead, okay, and tell a story through music and through visuals, go ahead and play the Artful Escape. And guess what? This is by the same developers. So how are they regressing here? This doesn't make any sense. Yeah, sure, there is some dialogue in these sections, but it is so bland and boring, and this is my biggest problem yet again with Mixtape. The dialogue in this game is cringy, it is extremely bad, and it just doesn't make any sense. And by the way, the story in this game is strikingly similar, to the point where I'm ready to call straight up plagiarism to the game Lost Records Bloom and Rage. Okay, this game is very, very, very similar. I mean, it's a little bit changed. Okay, I'm not gonna say it's the exact same thing, but it is so similar to the point where I am questioning some things for sure. So anyway, the main story in this game is basically about these teenagers getting invited to this party, and they have to go and get some booze. That's it. That's literally the premise of this game. Like, that's literally it. There is nothing else. It is so simple and so annoying and doesn't make any sense. Anyway, back to the gameplay here, if you can really even call it that. There is these teenagers or whatever, Cassandra and her boyfriend, I guess, Kyle, are basically going ahead, and they're going over to their house, okay? So why doesn't she just go ahead and take everyone? It doesn't really quite make any sense. I mean, yeah, sure, there's some dialogue here and there, but it is just, again, lifeless and boring, and it just doesn't make any sense. It's just like, yo, are you ready to go ahead and buy us some vodka? Like, dude, who cares? Just get to the premise of this story, okay? And guess what? By the time they go ahead and they catch up to Kyle, there's literally nothing that happens. He didn't hear them, okay? So, what's the point of any of this? This doesn't make any sense. We have this secret handshake, okay? And by the way, this handshake never comes up again in the entire game. Like, not even once. Like, maybe, you know, some person might be like, oh yeah, hey, do you want to teach me your secret handshake? No, there's nothing like that at all. And now there's some more cutscenes. I mean, yeah, here's the thing with Mixtape, okay, there's a lot of cutscenes in this game. This game is just basically 99% cutscenes, 1% gameplay. But yeah, okay, and now Rockford is just basically saying that she is going to create mixtapes for some bigwig in New York City, and she wants to move out. Like I said, strikingly similar to the game Lost Records Bloom and Rage, okay? Like their last night together or whatever, last summer, same kind of concept, is it not? I would say so. Rockford then basically tells Cassandra that she wants to become a world's foremost music supervisor, which, okay, whatever that means. I mean, I guess she's gonna go ahead and she's going to go ahead and select music for films and stuff like that. And then you go into this entire thing about music and all this stuff. Like, dude, I actually like music, okay? I like a lot of different types of music, but I cannot resonate with this game. Because, do you want to know why? Because music is not a reason for me to play the game, especially when it's not your own music. You are taking music from other people, okay, and you're putting it into this game, and you want me to be interested with a game that has such little story, okay, such little significance. There's absolutely no reason to play this game, okay? All the things that happen in this game are literally just pointless, okay? It does not come to any interesting conclusions or anything like that. It's just a one-time thing. And yeah, there you go. You have to play another copyrighted song yet again, because the thing is that I guess they don't have enough like talent to create their own music. They have a lot of money, by the way, created by Megan Ellison, the daughter of Larry Ellison, which is like I think the fifth richest guy in the world. So that kind of makes a little bit of sense why these music licenses are perpetual apparently, which means that they are forever. They will not expire like in GTA or in Forza. But hey, I guess that's what happens when you have a lot of money, right? So yeah, you go ahead and you go upstairs and do all that, you know, interesting stuff. And now this is where I really started to hate Rockford. I mean, she is such a boring, bland, horrible character, and it's just not even funny. She just randomly screams at her parents for absolutely no reason. By the way, this is the only scene that we ever see Rockford's parents in. And like I said, not enough time to flesh out the characters, not enough time to have anything really interesting here. But yeah, the game goes ahead and it puts you into this Life is Strange kind of situation where you can look around and go ahead and see other objects and stuff like that and see other things. And I just think it just doesn't really add really anything to the game. It just says nothing. There's literally no substance. There's no interesting dialogue whatsoever. It's nothing. It's just some like random dialogue that's like literally chat GPT generated or something like that, and just forced into the game like it really matters, man. Like Rockford is such an annoying, judgmental, terrible character, and I'm gonna say that straight up because you guys are gonna be seeing this afterwards. And watch. Now let's compare this to the main character of the Artful Escape, who is actually trying to go ahead and create something for himself, to do something. She has ambition, okay, but that ambition does not push the story forward whatsoever. Okay, if we're looking at, like, let's say for example the Artful Escape, the main character in the Artful Escape, I forget his name, but he basically lives under the shadow of his uncle because he's trying to become a rock star like his uncle. Okay, so here's the thing. Okay, that is interesting. This game here is not interesting. But anyway, Rockford goes ahead and she finds the old mixtape by her ex, Colin Bruce, which is basically the guy that she had her first kiss with. And I have to say, man, this entire section is just so forced. It is so stupid. It doesn't make any sense at all, okay? And yet again, it proves why Rockford is a terrible, terrible character, okay? Like, this is the problem with Mixtape, okay? If you want to have a protagonist that is, you know, a little bit, you know, annoying or kind of just like, you know, selfish or whatever, you go ahead and you can do that, but do it in an interesting way. Here, it just doesn't make any sense at all, and this entire section here is so weird, dude. It is so weird, okay? But anyway, I digress. Okay, it is still something I have never seen before in a video game. So, I mean, I can't really give it points, to be honest, because it doesn't really matter in the end of it. I mean, it doesn't push the story forward. They're just going ahead and they're reminiscing over some things here and there that they did in high school or before high school. I don't know, but still. Look at this scene, man. Like, this is so weird and so, like, gross, disturbing. Like, I have no idea why is this scene even in the game. Like, dude, it doesn't make any sense at all. And this is the problem with Mixtape, okay? As you guys can see right over here, this is the scene that IGN says is a 10 out of 10 and gives the game a 10 out of 10, okay? As soon as I saw people giving this game 10s after seeing this scene in particular, I knew what was going on. We all know what's going on. Anyway, after that, basically Rockford finds I guess a tape player or like a remote player or something like that. I don't know what it is exactly, but when it comes to it, like, this is just going into another flashback here. So once we get to this flashback, you basically see Cassandra and Slater and Rockford going ahead and saying that, oh yeah, hey, I made a tape, and now you get to go ahead and you get to headbang to Freak from Silverchair. So, hey, I mean, okay, but you just press random buttons to go ahead and just headbang. That's it. When IGN talked about this, I literally thought it was like the coolest thing ever. I just think that it's really stupid and doesn't really add anything to the game. And I just think that it just really is stupid. And this is why this game just absolutely sucks, man. Spoiler alert. This whole segment goes on for so long to get, like, basically almost pulled over by the cops, so they turn off the music just in time. And then, guess what? They go ahead and they headbang again. And it is so long, man. It's so boring. There's no rhythm. There's no, like, oh yeah, hey, if you press the wrong button here, you fail. Okay, it's just literally an interactive movie. And all you're doing is just pressing buttons and doing absolutely nothing. If you just even have your controller absolutely still, you won't fail. Now look, I don't have anything wrong with games that have very little gameplay. I mean, I can think of some very good games that have very little gameplay, but have very interesting story, very interesting characters, and a very interesting character development. Like As Dusk Falls, for example. That's another really, really good game that I would definitely recommend if you guys are looking for a game that has a very good story and also very good decision making. Life is Strange, that's another game that is basically very, very similar to As Dusk Falls in a way. Also has a decent story as well. I wouldn't say it has a very good story, but it has a decent story. Her Story, okay, that's another good game with another good story, okay? Black Friday 1979, about the Iranian Revolution, another game with not a lot of gameplay but great story. So you see, I'm okay with these games that have very little gameplay. The problem is not having gameplay. The problem is having characters that are obnoxious, that are uninteresting, and have absolutely no reason to exist outside of hating people for not liking music. Yeah, you heard me right. Rockford does not like people for not liking the same kind of music that she likes, or for saying something like Devo is a one-hit wonder, or saying a certain band is a one-hit wonder, or not liking music soundtracks, like movie soundtracks, I mean. But yeah, what does this say about Rockford besides her being a pretentious jerk who cannot stand the differences that people have between each other for not liking the same stuff? It is just absolutely ridiculous that a character like this is praised by IGN and by other outlets and stuff like that when she is so boring, uninteresting, obnoxious, and not only obnoxious, she absolutely just hates everyone for absolutely no reason. It makes no sense. But anyway, another reason why this game just absolutely sucks is because the amount of things that you have to do in one room is very, very little. There is really no reason to go and talk to people over and over again because you have no decisions in this game. Everything stays the same. It's just like watching a movie. Nothing is going to change. These characters are so one-dimensional that it doesn't make any sense to go ahead and replay this game, honestly. It really just is so stupid and so insane that anyone is giving this game a 10 out of 10. Anyway, there's yet another flashback sequence where apparently Cassandra is wasted and we have to get her somewhere. And they rip off Fortnite in this game as well. Just like ripping Lost Records, Bloom Rage, ripping off Fortnite, you know, ripping off Life is Strange. These characters are very annoying and boring, and there's not really too much stuff really happening here. And apparently the cops are here, so you have to go ahead and you have to escape and go somewhere, and you have to grab a shopping cart because, you know, you have to have a shopping cart in these kind of games because, you know, Fortnite has shopping carts and Fortnite is very popular, and there's a new song for you to listen to while you go and you ride in a shopping cart trying to escape the police. And oh wow, such amazing dialogue, so good, so amazing. I never thought that I would see anything like this in my life, man. Like, wow. And eventually you go to this police scanner thing or whatever, I don't know what it is exactly, I guess a news station. And just flashback to this thing here, and the guy says that, oh, instead of saying, oh yeah, hey, I've never seen this before, you know, teens grabbing a shopping cart trying to escape the police, he says, oh yeah, hey, I've only seen it 6 times. Like, bro, you've seen this 6 times? This guy seems so surprised, and yet he's seen it 6 times. Like, this is the problem with Mixtape. Really, every single character so far has just been so bland and so boring. The only good parts of this game are literally the music and some of the visual spectacles. I mean, yeah, sure, the visuals do look interesting here, but the thing is that, again, there is no purpose to these scenes. They're not brought up again, and honestly, they're not very believable either. I mean, these scenes here, they just seem so fake and so forced and so like, oh yeah, hey, we're trying to do something unique here, even though it's not really that unique. I mean, this is not unique whatsoever, and this is the problem, okay, with Mixtape yet again. Whenever you're playing this game, you just want to see something interesting, and guess what? There is nothing interesting in this game. Even this entire section here with this whole psychedelic stuff going on, it doesn't matter. Because, like, who cares? I mean, you just go ahead and you go to the next stage right now. Like, look at this. And this is exactly what I'm talking about with Mixtape. These scenes, they don't really add really anything to the game. And this is the biggest problem, yet again, with Mixtape. Like, all we're talking about is all this dialogue saying, oh yeah, hey, why are you ditching me, going to New York or whatever. And guess what? There's no multiple choices, so it's just so bland and boring. So in this scene here, Rockford basically talks about someone named Jenny Goodspeed, and she hates her for some reason and just says that Jenny sucks. And you will be really surprised to know why she doesn't like her. Right now, we have yet another flashback. It's basically Cassandra and Rockford sitting by a sidewalk talking to each other, for a little while, and then eventually she pulls out a lighter and gives it to her. And she says, "Do you know how to run?" And apparently she stole the lighter from the store, and the store owner chases after them. And after that, they get away. Wow, what an amazing example for young kids to follow. Absolutely amazing. This is truly a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Just like IGN says. Absolutely. Fantastic. Absolutely amazing. Such a great story. But anyway, now we figure out that Rockford apparently has a road trip to go on with Cassandra, and this is their graduation road trip. And apparently, since Cassandra cannot go because of her father or whatever, they're going to go ahead and just pin this on here, and you have to read everything. This is literally the scene. This is all that you do. You just go ahead and you read everything, and after that, you are done. But anyway, Rockford goes ahead and gets some, I guess, alcohol, and after that, these people are just ungrateful, and they're just like, oh hey, you know, Camille Cole, you know, the party girl or whatever, says that Rockford's sister is like a big party girl or whatever, and like she might have booze, so they try to see if they can find it in her room, I guess. And Rockford's sister goes ahead and leaves a clue to try to see if she can find the booze, if she's worthy enough, I guess. I don't know. But you know, interesting plot development, I guess. It's not really that interesting. But then she sees a picture of Jenny Goodspeed and then like has another flashback here. And it's in a slushy place. And you know what? I actually really like slushies. I'm a huge fan of slushies. And I used to make them as a kid, and they were really cool, man. Like, I remember they were awesome. So this part here was actually a little interesting for me, something I can resonate with. But again, even if I can resonate with it, does not mean that it is good. Okay, this whole section here is just you just moving a cup around and pressing a single button to, you know, drop whatever you want to drop. You have the Coca-Cola, cherry, whatever you have. You can go ahead and drop that from the slushy machine and create your own slushy. So, and I actually really enjoyed this part of the game. I thought it was really cool, had a lot of fun with it actually. But the thing is that, again, you are not doing anything really interesting. It is just you just pushing a cup back and forth, trying to see if you can make the best slushy. And guess what? You don't get any points or anything like that. You don't get anything for making a good slushy. Like, look at this slushy right over here that I created. It looks awesome. I think it looks absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, I mean, hey, when it comes to this part here, man, I mean, yeah, sure, it's interesting, it's kind of cool, but there's really no interactivity. Like I said, you can just create whatever you want to, and you can just, you know, probably just move the cup and just put like the smallest amounts ever, and it will still be okay. You will not fail. Then eventually you see the reason why Rockford had the flashback to begin with, and the reason is because Jenny Goodspeed is here. And you know what? From before, she said that she didn't like Jenny Goodspeed, and now you find out why she does not like Jenny Goodspeed. So she said that she saw some movie, and then Rockford's just like, oh hey, it's a really good soundtrack, you know, and then she's just like, oh yeah, hey, I don't really like the music, I just watch the movies, right? And then she's just like, I know everything I need to know about you. And she just hates her for not liking music in the same way that she likes it. It is absolutely ridiculous. So the next thing that happens here is that basically Rockford looks inside this drawer and sees some kind of ticket and basically tries to see, oh yeah, hey, which band was playing that day. So she basically ruffles through her sister's stuff and trying to see if she can find the ticket, and this is just you just dragging stuff around. It's just, yeah, it's pretty boring, but yeah, there's just a few things, and then you go ahead and you find it, and then she's just like, oh yeah, hey, she has the two pieces, she puts them together. And then she's just like, oh yeah, hey, I remember this show here, me and Slater went. But then she's just like, to Cassandra, she's just like, oh yeah, hey, it was actually me and Slater that went, and it was before me and you actually hung out. So then this triggers another flashback of what they did do when they did not know Cassandra. And I think that this is actually pretty boring as well. So basically, the flashback takes them to a time where they used to hang out and take pictures together. And this whole thing here is a mini game that's really, really boring. All you do is literally just go ahead and move the characters and take a photo. You can literally cover each other's faces. It's just so stupid. I don't know why this is even in the game to begin with. Like, it's just so dumb, man. Like, and this is the problem with Mixtape, okay? Mixtape just does not have anything interesting in it, man. Like, seriously, it is such a boring game. And guess what? Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, let's say you take the pictures in a certain way or whatever. The same thing is always going to happen. So again, why even play this game over and over and over again? The only real reason to play this game at this point is just to see what happens the one time. And guess what? You can literally watch it on YouTube, man. Like, what's the point? Then I guess like goes into a flashback with Rockford and Slater and shows their childhood memories or whatever. But again, this is just like showing pictures and stuff like that. There's really nothing that's happening here. You know, you can't actually like go through any of this stuff and read like, you know, what's happening. It just shows some pictures and it shows like what they did together, I guess, before they met Cassandra, and then finally they show Cassandra. And now you can see all the pictures that you took, see all these pictures I took where you can barely see the two people together. What an amazing, amazing game, man. IGN 10 out of 10 game of the year. So after that, you can go ahead and you can pick up this shell, I guess, for whatever reason. And I guess she has another flashback. So with this shell that they were going outside somewhere and there's a key behind it. So now we can finally go and see what is in this wardrobe here. You can go and unlock it now. So yeah, let's see what's inside. I mean, it must be something very interesting, right? And you can see the animation right here. I don't think there's any other animation like that in the entire game, to be honest, but yeah, you see a bunch of bright lights, like something interesting is gonna go on. And there you go, my game crashed. Oh no, it's so sad. Yeah, by the way, guys, this game crashed for me like literally 18 times, or like 17, 18 times. So yeah, I do apologize if there's some repeating footage or anything like that, but yeah, that's just how it is. I even tried looking online as well, and it was telling me, oh yeah, hey, you know, this game does crash a lot, there's a lot of issues and stuff like that with the game. So, but yeah, anyway, I digress. So as you guys can see, we open the wardrobe here and we see the lights yet again, and hopefully the game does not crash this time. I think it's fine this time though. But yeah, as you guys can see, she basically looks inside the wardrobe and sees some light, and it's a big build up to seeing what this is. And oh wow, it's another song. We have the song Have You Seen Her by the Chi Lights, and it's just like all of her party stuff, I guess, of her sister, Rockford's sister. So I guess her name is Debbie, right? Yeah, so they all used to like party together or whatever, and now she has like a letter, and basically Rockford's sister knows that she's looking for the booze in her closet, so she's just like telling her like, you know, where she can find it. There's like a map or whatever, and then after that she's just like, oh yeah, hey, you know, your childhood will not last forever, so you can go ahead and you can go ahead and have fun and do this and do that. And then she's just like, oh yeah, hey, for the photo attached, you can go and find the booze and you can go find the stash. But then she's just like, oh no, where is it? And then there's like a place called the Ritz that they want to go to, that they apparently found, and it goes to another flashback. And the flashback is basically them finding this thing called the Ritz the one time. And I don't know if you guys remember, but there's like a part in the beginning, something called the Big Suck or something like that in the subtitles, if you guys are reading the subtitles. But yeah, they basically go back to this flashback here and they're trying to see if they can find this place. It's like a 3-year flashback or whatever. And I guess what happens here is that Rockford's sister like left a map on her desk, basically showing her where she can find a place that she can go and relax with her friends. And this is also another reason why this game just absolutely sucks. It's because the dialogue in this game is ridiculous and it's stupid and it makes no sense whatsoever. Like, look at this dialogue, bro. Like, what an amazing dialogue. IGN 10 out of 10, game of the year, game of the millennium, like absolutely amazing. Like, this is the dialogue that gives you a 10 out of 10. IGN, like, come on, man. Like, IGN, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, IGN gave his game a 10. There's many other people that gave his game a 10 as well. I mean, IGN is one of the big ones, though. So, hey, like, we can go ahead and we can talk about all this, delinquent stuff. And, oh yeah, hey, we're gonna give the game a 10 out of 10, game of the year, IGN. But anyway, they go ahead and they find some abandoned train or whatever, and Rockford's just like, oh yeah, hey, I wanna go in here. And then she goes in there and then goes and sees what's in this train. And yeah, you just walk around in the train and it's boring. And I actually didn't even know that I was actually, like, supposed to be walking around here, because I just, like, the camera changed so sporadically. I thought it like went into a cutscene and it just like really confused me. So I was just standing here like an idiot for like a couple minutes. I don't know why, but yeah, some more dialogue. I mean, her saying that she doesn't like motorcycles or whatever, and like she's all like, hating on motorcycles because, it's not about music, because, Rockford likes music. Yeah, you really gotta hammer that point in, because, IGN, by the way, another review that they did, Mouse PI for Hire, for example, right, said that there's too many cheese puns in that game, right? But in this game here, guess what? They don't say anything like that, being like, oh yeah, hey, there's too many music puns, or all Rockford cares about is music, and like that kind of stuff. Really, IGN, they go ahead and they say this kind of stuff for one game, but then they completely have another view of the other game. Like, let's be consistent here, shouldn't we? But anyway, this is another part of the game that like makes absolutely no sense. They see this huge field here, and yeah, actually the game does look pretty interesting. The graphics in this game do look pretty good, not gonna lie, and some of the set pieces here do look pretty cool. But they're basically just like, oh hey, this place is way too far away, can we float outside and go outside? And then apparently they actually start to think that they can actually float, and I don't know what happens exactly, but for some reason they can actually like start floating and running around and doing all this like stuff out of complete fantasy. I don't know like who thought of this scene here, but it's like not really that interesting at all. You can really do here, you press a button. I'm pretty sure if you literally keep your controller straight, just like 99.9% of this game, you can still pass everything. I mean, this is just like, why is this in this game? I don't quite understand. Like, you can't actually go back either. I tried to see, oh yeah, hey, maybe you can go back and try to see, if you can go and go to a different area or something like that, but it seems like you're on a fixed path, and this part here lasts for a pretty long time, and it's kind of boring too. And like, see, this guy can go up here, but I can't go up there. I tried to see if I can go up there, my control stick would not let me for some reason. I don't know if I was doing something wrong, if the game was broken or something like that. I got no idea, but I just thought this part was really boring and really dragged out and long. I mean, yeah, sure, you have the visual spectacle of the entire thing, but like, what's the point of this? I mean, this doesn't seem very realistic, IGN. And yes, this scene drags on and on and on and on and on. It takes so long. And then eventually you see a cutscene and they finally found the fort. Hooray! You can go ahead and you can just see the fort for 1 minute because that's all you're gonna see of it right now. Because that's it. The cutscene is over. There you go. It's it. This is the cutscene. They want to try to see if they can find the drinks or whatever, and this is the flashback. So, you know, they gotta go over here and they gotta go get the drinks because this is where the flashback led them. And this is apparently where the drinks are. Now we have the key, I guess, just try to see if we can find it. But yeah, like I said, very Lost Records, Bloomin' Rage-ish. Like, you know, they're trying to keep this hideout a complete secret, and it just really reminded me of Lost Records Bloomin' Rage. So basically, afterwards, you know, she's done listening to some music here and there, and she's just like, it's time for us to leave this place. And Rockford basically says to say goodbye to her house because they'll probably never see it again. So Slater, he basically goes and looks at, you know, Rockford's room one last time. And Rockford just yells at him and tells him to close the door. And he closes the door and he says goodbye to Stacy's room. This is actually a pretty interesting scene, I think, but really nothing really comes of it, like I said. And then they basically go skating yet again, listening to some more music here. This time it's Lush, or Monochrome by Lush. So yeah, basically she tells the history of the bands and stuff like that. I know there's other parts and stuff like that that I left out, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't add anything to it. Like I said, the story in this game is not very good in the first place. But yeah, basically this goes to a flashback with Cassandra and Slater and Rockford. Basically their first time meeting Cassandra here. And basically Cassandra says that, you know, we shouldn't be hanging out with you. My dad says that. And like her dad is a cop, right? So yeah, basically they are saying like, oh yeah, I know you did this kind of stuff here. This is what her dad is saying. And basically Cassandra is just like, oh yeah, I know I've decided to rebel or whatever. So yeah, this is the storyline here. And it's just, you know, normal stuff that you would expect to see from a coming of age story. So yeah, and then also some more fantastic dialogue. 10 out of 10, IGN, absolutely amazing. So yeah, so basically Rockford says that Cassandra is showing a lot of promise, and there you go into the skating section here, and this is really no different from the first one here. You can jump over cars, you can kickflip, you can grab trick or whatever. The dialogue is certainly a little bit different, but when it comes to it, it's not really that interesting. Yet again, like I said, the characters in this game are not very interesting at all. So yeah, you know, here I'm just jumping over stuff and, you know, riding these like roads and stuff like that, right? Trying to see, you know, if I can jump over some secret things or something, but there's really nothing. It's just set on a straight path here. Here actually you do have a small fork in the road. It's nothing really too major, but yeah, I hit that thing by accident there. And basically you can flip off this thing here, and all she says is that, and basically you don't even get to, you know, have any kind of interesting dialogue. But again, according to IGN, this game has 10 out of 10 dialogue. So yeah, I mean, this section goes on for a little while until, you know, you can go ahead and go to this place here, which is going to be the creek, which is, I guess, on the way to Cassandra's house. So yeah, this section here goes on for a little bit, and they basically go ahead and just ride through here, keep on like going, eventually making their stop here to go ahead and go to this creek. where they will have some more dialogue. Again, pointless dialogue. Really, like I even said, the music does not really add too much to this game as well. And I think that the game just really could have even done without the music and it really wouldn't have changed anything. But anyway, here's this little mini game that you have throwing rocks, and I think it's okay. I mean, it's not really that interesting. They're just talking about movies and stuff like that. I mean, there's some good dialogue here actually, like with, the whole thing with Pee Wee Herman and that kind of stuff like that. So it's just kind of funny a little bit, but it's not that funny. But yeah, you can throw rocks and stuff like that and hit certain objects, and I thought this moment was okay. I mean, there's some objects that you can hit, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah, pretty uneventful in the grand scheme of things, but this is like one of the most interactive parts of the entire game. So, I mean, I gotta give them some props here, to be completely honest. It's nothing really like revolutionary or anything like that, something I haven't seen before, but it's something that's not really like in this game too often. So, I will give it that. And immediately after that, you just end up at Cassandra's house, and basically Rockford says that Cassandra's dad is like really strict, really hard, really like does not let her watch any music videos or listen to music, or watch any movies. So basically, this is going after her and also her mother too, which is actually not in the game, to be honest. I don't think she's actually in the game. She's only mentioned like throughout the story, and maybe there's like a picture of her or whatever. And yeah, there's some more music here, and then Rockford is saying, oh yeah, hey, Cassandra chooses rebellion and that kind of stuff. So yeah, again, classic coming of age kind of stuff that you see everywhere. Nothing really too amazing. But yeah, as you guys can see, this is her room right here, and all you're going to be doing is talking to these people here and going and finding certain things. As you can see right here, here's like a picture of Cassandra's dad and her mother and Cassandra, and also basically Rockford comments like, oh yeah, how did they give birth to her, because she's all crazy and stuff like that, and they're also like conservative, and you can see different parts of Cassandra's room. So just really kind of Life is Strange kind of stuff that you would see, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage-ish stuff. But yeah, and here's another example of the classic, amazing, phenomenal dialogue in this game that IGN says is like amazing, and this is how normal people talk, and it's just phenomenal, and it's not even like actual writing. It's like they're just doing the best job that they can. Literal 10 out of 10 dialogue. Looking around more in Cassandra's room here, you see these plates. They look kind of interesting, I guess. But yeah, well, let's go to the next part here, where we can see that there is a trophy, a mall walking trophy, because I want to see what we have here. And it's a Constitution book or whatever. And then I go to the trophy, and this triggers yet another flashback from Rockford. Basically, she is playing baseball, I guess, and trying to swing. Now, I, for some reason, was not able to swing at all. I'm just really terrible at swinging for some reason. But yeah, I guess you're supposed to hit them all, but I just couldn't do it because the game just didn't explain what I'm supposed to be doing here. But anyway, you basically keep on hitting these home runs, and I guess it turns into a stadium. Okay then. So, I mean, more fantasy elements and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I was still not really that consistent with swinging. But yeah, basically, Rockford asks Cassandra why is she quitting softball, and she's just like, oh, I don't want to play sports, I want to do something interesting, and she wants to go on a road trip, do that kind of stuff, and she's just like all depressed and scared and like doesn't know what to do. And basically, this is where she's just like, yo, I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm gonna try again. She hits the lamppost, and Rockford is basically all panicking and that kind of stuff. And she's just like, yo, we gotta go, we gotta leave, we gotta get out of here. And she's just like, I'm gonna make sure that people find out it's me. And then, yeah, that's it. Basically, after that, you can walk around and see that Cassandra got detention for some reason, triggering yet another flashback here. Basically, of them, all three of them, Slater, Cassandra, and Rockford, going to the principal's house, going up and doing some mischief, up to some mischief, I mean, and basically, they are thinking about TPing the principal's house for some reason. I mean, yeah, sure, okay, but basically she's like saying that, oh yeah, hey, haven't you done this before? And she's like, oh yeah, hey, we egged the house before. But then after that, she's just like, oh, you'll never know it was me or anything like that. He'll never know, so we can go and do it. So, you know, just something, I guess, that they want to do. There's a small mini game here. It's really annoying actually. I really hate this minigame. It didn't really work out for me very well. I couldn't figure out how to actually throw these toilet paper rolls properly. It didn't really work out for me. They kept on saying, yeah, hey, you know, you should be hitting over the roof. But anyway, the principal comes out here and basically like screams and says, oh yeah, hey, it's Stacy Rockford. And then he's just like, oh hey, I know it's you and you're the one that did this here. And basically he's just like, oh yeah, hey, you know, you're expelled, and all of this stuff that is going to happen right now, you know, she's just planning that she's going to run away, and Slater's just like, oh yeah, hey, if you run away, you're going to basically get caught. So basically they're all scheming, trying to figure out what to do, and suddenly Cassandra has an idea where she stands up and basically says that I did it and I'm going to do it again. Basically, the principal's just like, Cassandra, this is Cassandra that did this here, because, you know, Cassandra is like some goody two-shoes or something like that, according to this principal. So, yeah. So basically, Rockford and Slater are just like, she's amazing that she did that, and the principal is just like, basically, we'll call your father. So basically, she sees a picture of Jenny Goodspeed and Cassandra together, and she is mad, and that goes back into another flashback where her and Cassandra are basically talking, and she's just like, you know, interested to know what Cassandra is doing, asking her what's up, you know, and she's just like, oh yeah, hey, now I'm trying to do something here. However, basically, Cassandra is just like saying, I can't do anything, unfortunately, because that she's sick or some reason like that. And basically, Rockford and Cassandra, they stop talking at that moment, and then Stacy basically tells her that, oh yeah, hey, I hope you feel better, but you can see on Cassandra's face that she's definitely hiding something. And then she sees Cassandra with Jenny Goodspeed, her favorite person in the entire world. She does not like Jenny because, you know, she doesn't like music, and then she's all heartbroken, and then some more music plays, you know, some sad music by this guy named BJ Thomas or whatever. I don't know what the song is called, I didn't catch it, but whatever, it doesn't matter, because this scene here is so stupid. It doesn't make any sense like whatsoever, that she's literally this distraught over like her friend going out with someone that she doesn't like. But hey, I mean, her life literally revolves around music. But anyway, this scene like literally goes on for so long, and yet again, this is why Mixtape just absolutely sucks. All you're supposed to do is listen to this music while seeing this visual spectacle, and this is all that Mixtape is. Like, you can barely, just barely classify this as an actual video game. I mean, yeah, sure, you have some input and that kind of stuff, but yeah, Mixtape really does nothing interesting, nothing like remotely cool or unique or anything like that. It's just like, oh yeah, hey, we want to tell a coming of age story with sad music and cutscenes. That's it. Like, this is so stupid, dude. Like, it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, eventually she flies to her house somehow, defying the logic of physics itself, and then she just goes to sleep, and that's the scene. That is literally the scene. I cannot believe it, man. I literally wasted like so long trying to see what happens here, trying to see like, oh yeah, hey, there might be some interesting thing at the very end of this, but no, there's nothing interesting. She just goes to sleep, and that's it. The cutscene is over. Like literally, this is it. And then, yay, you are back in the house of Cassandra, and then Cassandra's like, yo, Jenny Goodspeed is going to be at the party, and she's just like, oh yeah, hey, Jenny Goodspeed likes you, and like, they threw insults at each other. And yeah, that's it. So basically, you can talk to Slater right after that, and he's just like, oh yeah, hey, I had a Sega Master System, the batteries died, and all you do here is just swap the batteries. That's literally it. You just basically look at the batteries here, and you don't have to care about polarity or anything like that. This game is a little bit too realistic, like people flying, that kind of stuff like that. So, you don't have to worry about that at all. But yeah, you can go ahead and you can open this, and this is literally what happens. Like, I'm not even joking. You just put in the batteries, and that's it. Like, you can power it on, and yeah, that's it. Like, wow, what an amazing thing, man. Like, IGN literally gave this game a 10. Like, come on, IGN. Is this literally what you're gonna be giving us nowadays, man? But yeah, it says here to press start, and I think I actually pressed start right here. Yeah. But this basically takes us back to another cutscene, I guess in some abandoned dinosaur museum or something like that, or maybe they snuck in, while it was open or something. I don't know. I mean, I guess so. But this kind of thing happened in The Last of Us as well. I think one of The Last of Us games. I don't remember which one, but maybe it might be the DLC or something. But yeah, this whole scene here, I definitely sped this up because I don't really have too much to really talk about here. It's all just you just walking around and, going ahead and taking pictures, which the camera looks pretty interesting, not gonna lie. But yeah, here I was just trying to see, like, what I'm supposed to be doing here. I'm just like, oh yeah, hey, I'm probably not supposed to be going that way. And then I'm just like, oh yeah, hey, I'm actually supposed to be going that way. I don't know what happened there, but yeah, you press this button here, you turn on the power, and they're just like, oh yeah, hey, now the power is on. Now we can go take a picture of the dinosaurs and us, and it looks so realistic. Oh wow, it looks like the Game Boy Color, dude. Or I mean the original Game Boy. But yeah, you just keep walking around taking pictures, and it's fairly boring. There's not really anything really interesting happening. Yet again, the dialogue is not really that amazing. It's just really cringe, and IGN really said that this is how real people actually talk, and hey, I guess this is how real people actually talk. So yeah, now you go into a first person view and that kind of stuff, and there's more dialogue, and I guess this guy Mike Heiser is trying to be like Gigi Allen or something like that. So it's very interesting dialogue. So yeah, exit, and then eventually you find this place here, and like this is another reason why Mixtape just absolutely sucks. Yet again, I've literally said this like so many times, but man, this is literally one of the worst games I've ever played in my life. Like this thing here just tells you to do something called a kaiju mode. I don't know what this adds to the game, any atmosphere or anything like that. It's just stupid, and literally, as you guys can see, like there's just literally nothing that happens. It like I thought that, oh yeah, hey, it would be something really interesting, but I bet you guys, like, maybe when the guy at IGN was playing this game, he's just like, yo, wow, this is so realistic, man. We used to do this as kids. This is amazing. Oh, wow. Yo, I don't even care about the gameplay or anything like that. This is just how we were as kids, and it's so realistic. Besides, flying around and, I guess floating in mid-space. while depressed. And yeah, I tried to see if maybe you go to the volcano or something like that, and turns out there's literally nothing. There's no reason to do anything like that, and I guess you can do it in the volcano and be cool. But yeah. But anyway, the trio here basically find a huge dinosaur and they take a look at it, and now here's like another sequence where I guess they're high or drunk. I don't know what it is, but maybe it's just like a dream sequence. I don't know, but they get on top of it and oh wow, they get transported to some like wildlife area and like into the dinosaurs or whatever. Not a wildlife area, sorry, but like it's just so like unrealistic and boring and stupid, and like you just have to just wait until you are like, you know, ready to go into the sun and it explodes, I guess. I don't know, like what's the point of this? I don't know. I mean, IGN, can you tell me? Maybe. And yeah, I've been talking a lot about IGN recently because I really want someone from IGN, maybe if they see this, I don't know, but or maybe someone that really likes this game and defends it a lot, to tell me why this game's a 10. Transported back into Cassandra's room and she has a drink, and basically she's saying that this is like a very strong drink and it's illegal in 8 different states, and you know it's very dangerous and it will really mess you up and that kind of stuff. And Slater's just like, oh hey, you might be dangerous, and you hear a knock on the door, and basically she's gotta hide it. And surprise, surprise, it is Cassandra's father, who basically says that there's been some noise complaints and that kind of stuff, just talking to Cassandra and her friends, and saying like, you know, that there's some children or whatever by the cottage or whatever, that's making like a lot of noise and stuff like that, and asking them to go ahead and rat out his friends. Cassandra basically denies all this stuff here, and Officer Marino basically says, ask your friends to step out. So basically after that, Slater and Rockford step outside, and it's a one-on-one conversation with Officer Marino and Cassandra. He's basically saying that you have to stay home, and he's saying that there could be like a party or whatever, and he doesn't want her to be a part of it. And Cassandra basically says that, oh hey, this is our last night together, and I told you about this. And then he basically says that, oh yeah, hey, you will stay home and you will like it. You're not going anywhere anytime soon, right? So basically the classic, you know, the cop arguing with the daughter and the daughter basically rebels, you know, that kind of stuff. Nothing really that interesting, but then he shows her the lighter and saying that, oh yeah, hey, you know, stoners basically use this here. And Cassandra's like, oh yeah, hey, you went through my room. But anyway, Cassandra's father basically tells her that she's not going to go anywhere, she's not going on her trip or anything like that, and Cassandra's all mad and everything, and like the officer's just like, yo, you can't be doing this, can't be doing that, we can't trust you, you know, you'll have the privilege to do and we can trust you right now, we can't trust you, and that kind of stuff. So that's basically it, and he tells her that, oh yeah, hey, you know, he's gonna go to his shift or whatever, and he's basically telling her to stand down and saying that he is very disappointed in her. And by the way, on his way out, he basically talks to Stacy and Slater here, and basically he says that he'll find this party, and if there's a party that you will basically pay the consequences for it, and you will be walking to New York because you will be missing their flight. So, and then he's just like, get over our house. So, and then obviously, you know, Stacy being like, oh yeah, hey, you know, I promised you'd come to Camille Cole's party or whatever, and she's just like, yo, it will ruin my soundtrack. And look, this is another reason why Stacy absolutely sucks as a character, because she does not care about her friend. She literally cares about her soundtrack and the party. That's it. This is like the problem with Stacy Rockford as a character. She's so obsessed with music. She is so obsessed with partying and stuff like that. She does not care about her own friend's well-being. It is absolutely pathetic. But anyway, here we can see Stacy's like super angry and super mad, And the reason that she's mad is because that this is going to mess up everything on the mixtape. We're supposed to be listening to the Swans and all this stuff when her friend is literally back there, suffering because she is bound to be at her house. So, and then she's just like, yo, I'm gonna go get some booze for Camille Cole or whatever. And now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna skate around. And since she's angry, she's gonna listen to Smashing Pumpkins, because Smashing Pumpkins is a real good song to play when you're angry. Real good band, I mean. But yeah, there's the thing for this thing here. You just go ahead and say some profanities and put up your middle fingers and go ahead and blow up the vehicles. It is actually not satisfying whatsoever. There's really nothing really interesting here. You just go on and, just be mad and angry, I guess. So basically, Stacy is just blowing up all this stuff here and, super angry, the visual spectacle and that kind of stuff. You can see all this stuff, like, this is really happening, I guess. I don't know, does she have superpowers? I have no idea. It's not really explained why this stuff is happening. But the visual spectacle is kind of interesting, to be completely honest. As much as I hate to say anything good about this game, I'm going to be honest. This part here is pretty interesting and it looks pretty good. But this part here coming up is actually pretty awesome in my opinion. This thing called like the giant gumball machine, you can go ahead and you can see here, like, I mean, yeah, sure, you just do the same kind of stuff here. But yeah, she's like very angry and, spewing profanities left and right. Very, very interesting 10 out of 10 IGN dialogue, of course. Very cool. Absolutely destroying everything, creating havoc and that kind of stuff. Trying to see if she can find this giant gumball machine, and she even says that she's the Ayatollah of rock and roll for some reason. I don't know why she says that, but okay. Amazing. So yeah, now this is actually an interesting part of the game that I actually found really cool, to be honest. I know I still hate this game, but this part I cannot lie. This is a very cool part, very interesting visual spectacle, and I have to say when it comes to this part here, it's really really cool. It's very short-lived, but yeah, after you destroy that gumball, I guess she's all calm now, and there's no more destroying stuff. You just start skateboarding again, and there's no real actual transition or anything like that. I mean, I think it would be a little bit better maybe if the entire screen was red the entire time. But what do I know? This game got a 10 out of 10 from IGN. Eventually you get to the house here, the abandoned warehouse, or the abandoned shed, I guess you can call it. And they're trying to see if they can find the booze, because Rockford's sister apparently headed over here. And you can look at the stuff here and see this beat down place and just see what to do here. There's really not too much stuff to do here. Honestly, this part here is actually really boring, and honestly, there's not really a reason to even play this game besides, just maybe listening to the music. But even then, you can just go on YouTube and listen to music for free. But anyway, eventually Rockford finds a car with bottles and I guess has a slingshot from somewhere. I don't know, but she tries to see if she can destroy the cans and the bottles, and this is so fun, man. You just aim and you shoot, and you have to actually play actually, because you can't pass this by just keeping your controller still as far as I know. So you actually do have some force input here, which actually makes it a video game. Just saying. Then eventually you go to a cutscene and basically you find a piece of a picture, and once you find that piece of a picture you can try to see if you can find the other pieces so you can put everything together to find out the location of the booze. But yeah, there's some mini games here. You go ahead and you can clean up here because there's a lot of leaves and it's fall apparently, I guess. So they have to go ahead and they have to rake the leaves. So yeah, so much fun. Like wow, this is amazing. Had a lot of fun with this one here. Had a blast. Definitely. Like look at this elite gameplay right here, just raking out all the leaves. It's so much fun. Wow. IGN 10 out of 10. Truly a masterpiece. Just wow. But yeah, once you clear all these leaves here, you're basically done here, and there's some dialogue, I guess, and I guess one leaf like got stuck on that line there and didn't let me proceed. I'm not sure what I'm doing here actually. Oh yeah, I guess I missed one. Okay, so yeah, that one there I missed. But yeah, that's it. And then you just go back to the past and see all the cutscenes and all the memories and stuff like that. There's also a mini game where you have to drop a couch into place. I found this really annoying, but anyway, after you do this here, you can go ahead and go to the present, and then inside the couch you find another photo. Yay! And with that, we have all the photos that we need. It's the last piece here, and then Rockford, I guess, puts the photo together, and they know where the booze is. It's in the floor. Wow, who would have guessed? Anyway, I skipped over a small painting minigame. I mean, who cares? You just paint the floor or paint the door. But anyway, basically, Slater's just like before you grab the alcohol, you gotta believe, and they go through this ritual or whatever. And once they go ahead and they do this ritual, there's like all this dramatic stuff and build up for all this stuff. And yeah, so once they go ahead and they open it, you know, I see the lights and that kind of stuff, super dramatic stuff, but again, classic stuff. So yeah, basically they walk outside with the alcohol, then you see some flashbacks, I guess, some current photos of Slater and Rockford here drinking and like, you know, having fun, partying, that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's kind of interesting, I guess. So then they go back onto the couch here, and Slater asks what's the next song, and she basically says the song, but she says that she can't play it here because it is Cassandra's favorite song. So if it's her favorite song, we cannot play it because she's not present. She has to be present for her to play the song. You know, the logic here is completely and utterly flawless. But anyway, they see something in the woods here, and they see Cassandra. Surprise, surprise. And now they're going to go ahead and they're going to, you know, be all happy and everything like that, and like, you know, hug it out. And basically, they're all happy and amazed, but something happens. But then basically, she sees Jenny Goodspeed, and it's very interesting because they say Jenny Goodspeed right here, but they introduced her before too, so I don't know why this is the first time that we're seeing that thing here. Did the developers just forget about it? I don't know actually. It's very, very weird. But obviously, you know, Stacy doesn't like Jenny Goodspeed because, you know, she doesn't like the same type of music that she likes, or she doesn't like music in the same way. And obviously Cassandra's just like, yo, we already know that, you know, that people are going to come here and, you know, figure out about this stuff. And she just really doesn't like Jenny Goodspeed, right? So it's very, very, like, you know, classic. I don't like this person, and she's my friend's friend, and I thought that I'm your friend here, and this is the soundtrack that I'm creating. Like, come on, man. Like, what even is this at this point? Like, this is just absolutely ridiculous, and this is why this game sucks. And, you know, instead of talking to her friend like a completely normal person here, she just goes ahead and she listens to the music and tries to see if she can enjoy the music. And so Slater basically sees that she's all sad, and basically they hug it out. And basically Slater says, oh yeah, hey, do you want to come over to my house? But unlike a good friend, basically Rockford's just like, my soundtrack is all ruined and everything like that, and not caring about Cassandra. So yeah. So basically they go ahead and they talk about, her moving to New York and that kind of stuff, and Slater's just like, I'll be waiting here for you, because they're friends, unlike her and Cassandra, because Cassandra is holding her back because she's not able to make her mixtape because of Cassandra. So yeah, that's basically what happens here. That's basically it. I mean, there's some interesting things here in Slater's room. I mean, he has a computer, so this guy's a rich guy, man, like for sure. So anyway, you can see here that their parents offers them like cocktails, I guess. I don't know. And then like, you can look around and there's like a beer can inside the fish tank for some reason. I don't know. And he has records all over the place because he likes music as well. Because everyone in this game likes music apparently, except for Cassandra, because she's not allowed to listen to music, but she actually does like music, because this game's a musician's dream or something like that. I don't know, man. Like it's really interesting, I guess, or not. Anyway, after you're done looking around here, you can go to the next story point. Basically, you go to this cassette player and basically Slater's just like, hey, you want to hear a song? And then she's just like, oh yeah, hey, your song here? Well, Slater's working on a song according to the story. So basically he's just like, oh yeah, hey, I'm not sure if you'll like it, that kind of stuff. So, and then after that, basically he says that, oh yeah, hey, this is just like how the song is. He describes the song. It's a very cringy description, but he finally goes ahead and he plays the song, and you hear the song and you don't really do anything. There's no mini game or anything like that. It's just vibes, just like, IGN would say. But hey, I mean, the visual spectacle is kind of cool. I mean, it's just some like pre-rendered video or whatever. The music is alright. I mean, I can't really play it. I guess it might be copyrighted or whatever, but you might be hearing something else in the background. Anyway, that after that whole thing there, basically what happens is that Slater basically says to Rockford that, hey, I'll miss you and that kind of stuff, and now you can go ahead and you can keep looking around, and he basically has some more dialogue or whatever, and he says that, oh yeah, hey, it's a bummer, but it will get better, so yeah. But I mean, that's basically it here. After that, you can go ahead and take a look around and try to see if you can leave or whatever. But I guess Rockford doesn't want to leave, so I don't know what to do after that. But oh yeah, hey, you go to this video here and then you see another flashback, and Rockford basically talks about, Cassandra and her, and saying that the soundtrack has abandoned her or whatever, and she's basically saying, oh yeah, hey, like, this is supposed to be like another part of my soundtrack here. We're supposed to be like remembering and going to the party and that kind of stuff. And Slater's just like, oh yeah, hey, we should be playing this song here, and if we play the song, maybe we can change reality itself, and Cassandra might start liking us. So she plays the tape here, and basically they all sit back and they reminisce over some thing here, over him going to some video store, I think it was, and him like being all like completely high or drunk, maybe a combination of the two, and basically just knocking over all of the VHSs and stuff like that. Like, this is so stupid. Like, who cares? This is such a stupid part of the game. It doesn't make any sense here. But anyway, he's like basically said to go ahead and go rent something, and like, yeah, this is the entire thing here, man. So basically he goes into the building while intoxicated, and he's really having a very difficult time walking around, and the clerk basically asks him, hey, are you okay? And you're trying to see if you can rent some movies and that kind of stuff, and like, they're going ahead and they're all falling down because he's all like high and he can't really see what he's doing or that kind of stuff. And this section goes on for such a long time. I'm literally just going to skip to the cutscene when you get out of here, because this part actually takes really long, and honestly it's just so boring, and it's probably one of the worst parts of this entire game, to be honest. I don't know who this is made for. This is just ridiculous. And eventually he does get out of there and gets the movie that he wants to watch or whatever, and they have like a little conversation. But anyway, whatever. Let's skip over here to whatever comes next, because it's a little bit more interesting than that, obviously. But basically, Slater asks, oh yeah, who is it? And it's the pigs, apparently, according to Slater's mom here. And basically, Officer Marino basically says that, oh yeah, hey, you know, you gotta call me Officer Marino when I'm on duty or whatever. And then she's just like, oh yeah, hey, what can I do for you? And Officer Marino's just like, oh yeah, hey, you know, not to take up too much of your evening, but there's like a big party going on. And basically now Slater's just like, oh hey, the party's busted. And Rockford and Slater are both really sad or whatever. And basically Slater's mom asks, you know, how is Cassandra? And obviously Officer Marino says that, you know, that she'll basically be staying home, and for Van, you'll be going ahead and you should be asking him to stay home as well, because, you know, this party thing or whatever is going on. And apparently he says that he's going to the Heaven 11 parking lot because Cassandra is there, and there you go. You can finally go ahead and run for your life while listening to another song here, jumping on school buses and stuff like that, and just running all over the place, because you gotta get to Cassandra before Officer Marino, because you know she is drinking at the Heaven 11 parking lot for whatever reason. I mean, hey, you know, you want to go drinking, why don't you do it in a private place? Why are you going to a parking lot in order to drink? I don't understand. I mean, whatever though. But yeah, this whole section here, again, like 99% of this game, you can literally just hold your controller completely still and have some completely unconsequential gameplay. But anyway, basically Rockford goes ahead and she sees Officer Marino. She catches up to her even though she's running and he's driving, you know, very, very realistic stuff. But anyway, Officer Marino sees Cassandra and Jenny drinking at the Heaven 11 parking lot, and Rockford basically lights up this firework as a distraction, kind of, and then she goes and she runs to Cassandra and she runs to Jenny Goodspeed. So yeah, you know, this is basically what happens here. And she's saying, oh yeah, hey, you know, your dad is here. So she pushes her out of the way and she takes the bottle for herself, saying do not move or anything like that, and then even helps out Jenny Goodspeed as well. So, you know, this is actually kind of a interesting, good characteristic of Stacy here, out of like the whole ocean of absolute terrible negativity from her. But anyway, she is taking the spot of Cassandra this time here, and Officer Marino gets out of his vehicle and basically says to Stacy that you're not, you know, 21 years old, because the drinking age is 21 apparently, I guess, somewhere in the world. Stacy basically says hello, and then Officer Marino's just like, oh, it's Officer when I got the badge on, that kind of stuff like that. And she says that, you know, you can let it go because it's her last day in town. And Officer Marino basically says that, you know, your dad would be ashamed of you and that kind of stuff, and like she's basically the reason that Cassandra is going all crazy and that kind of stuff. And apparently like she defends Cassandra and all this stuff, and basically what happens now is some kind of conversation between Officer Marino and Rockford. It's not really that interesting, to be honest, but Cassandra hears it and she is like, you know, touched by it. So yeah, so Rockford basically accuses, you know, Officer Marino of controlling Cassandra and that kind of stuff, and saying that you'll never get to know her and that kind of stuff. So basically she quotes something by Rush here, saying that, like, basically any escape to smooth out the unattractive truth, but the suburbs charms to soothe or whatever, in the restless dreams of youth. She basically rhymes it, I guess, some quote. And then Officer Marino just basically one-ups her and just says that, oh yeah, hey, I've tried in my way to be free, but she basically gets caught and she gets arrested, and that is that. So yeah, and then obviously, Stacy, being a fan of music or whatever, she's all stunned and everything, and she knows what's gonna happen, and that's it. She gets booked. So basically, you get to see, Rockford just looking outside, and Officer Marino is looking for Cassandra or whatever, and basically what happens is that she's staying all silent and everything and all scared, and Rockford is trying to see if she can break out. However, to no avail, but yet again, right beside her is Slater, and basically what happens is that Slater breaks her out, and guess what? The three of them are reunited again, and they all run away, and Officer Marino basically says that, they're delinquents. So then they all go ahead and they make their escape, basically just saying that, to Rockford, you saved my life here, and it was really cool and all that stuff. And Slater basically went ahead and, broke her out of the cop car. And then Rockford's just like, yo, we're all gonna be in so much trouble, and Cassandra's all thankful and everything, and Rockford finally apologizes to her best friend, and even Cassandra apologizes too. So yeah, basically Cassandra basically asks like, yo, how did you know that my dad was coming over to the Heaven 11 parking lot? And Slater's just like, yo, this is, what happened. Your dad basically came here and we got there as soon as we can. And they're all just like, yo, the party's ruined. But then suddenly, Camille Cole, like the big party girl or whatever that invited them to the party to begin with, is here and appears. And since, they're all infatuated with her and, like very obsessed with her and all that stuff, and basically they all say like, what's up, what's going on, and like Camille Cole basically says that like, Rockford's sister is all wild and stuff like that, and they all introduce themselves and that kind of stuff. And this is the guy Kyle, I guess. I was thinking that's like her boyfriend or whatever, but I guess. Anyway, almost to the end here, there's this like little mini game or whatever. I guess you're blowing up these fireworks while listening to some more music, of course. This game, like I keep saying, it's just a visual spectacle, and you're listening to the music. That's it. There's literally no like, yeah, hey, you did this right or you did this wrong or whatever. You don't fail for like missing a certain amount of fireworks. Yeah, sure, you can maybe get some achievements or whatever, but I mean that's besides the point at this point. Like, you just keep going here, and you just this part just goes on for a pretty long time here. Eventually your car begins to fly because, like I said, this game just defies the logics of physics. I mean, IGN said that, this is like a very realistic kind of game here. But anyway, you're still doing the exact same thing. I mean, yeah, sure, it looks visually cool, but again, there's really no reason to really do anything. I'm pretty sure like 99% of this game, again, you can just hold your controller completely still and you will still pass this entire section. So at the end of the day, it does not matter if you, pop a certain number of fireworks, you'll still get the same ending. So yeah, basically, they're all happy and everything like that, and they're able to go ahead and save the party, of course. So yeah, basically they all drive over to the shed here, and after that they can go ahead and they can party. So yeah, but anyway, we're finally at the party here, and this part is so boring, man. It is just so annoying. I don't even understand why this is even a thing. I mean, yeah, sure, you play some Iggy Pop. Iggy Pop is pretty cool. I like Iggy and the Stooges better, but I mean, solo Iggy Pop's alright. But anyway, basically, Slater just goes ahead and captures the party, and really all you can do here is just do random gestures and that kind of stuff, and just walk around and see what's going on. It's honestly really stupid. It doesn't do anything. There's no like, oh yeah, hey, you know, you can go ahead and go talk to random people or whatever. Yeah, sure, you can go high five random people or whatever, and you can kind of see what they're doing or what they're up to, but there's no actual choices. Like I said, I mean, sure, you can say that this part here is like, you know, what the game has been building up to, and I think it really just fails at every single possible way, because if this is what the game was building up to, it's just really sad and really like pathetic, to be honest, because at this point, man, you've done so much stuff, and you know, this is all that you're rewarded with. All these, like, you know, you're just walking around and seeing what other people are doing. You're barely even participating in the party yourself. I mean, if there was like a way to go ahead and participate in the party or whatever, yeah, sure, that'd be interesting, but dude, this is so boring. And not to mention the song by Iggy Pop here doesn't really fit, in my opinion. I think that most of the music in this game is just there just to be there. It doesn't really fit. There's no reason for it whatsoever. So yeah, this part is just dragging on for way too long, and honestly, like I said, it is so boring, man. It is so boring. I'm just gonna be playing this entire thing out because I really just want you guys to see how ridiculously boring this is. All you're doing is just literally just going and talking to random people, not even really talking. You're just kind of just like initiating conversations. Basically, like there's some loading screen or something like that, and like you can kind of interact and talk, but like I said, no multiple dialogue choices or anything like that. It's just so boring, man. Like, wow, I am so disappointed with this, man. And for IGN to give this a 10 out of 10 is really insulting, in my opinion, man. Like, wow, like what even is this at this point, man? Like, this is what the game has been building up to. But anyway, eventually you go ahead and you can see what's going on here next. You can see they went ahead and they brought out all of the booze, because you know, you can't have a party without booze. So yeah, whoa, let's go, let's get drunk or whatever, you know. What kind of game is this, bro? Like, I mean, honestly, like, this is so boring, bro. You just keep walking around, and like the conversations keep getting stupider and stupider and stupider, and the whole dialogue in this game is just absolute garbage, man. Like, I don't understand. What is the appeal of this game? I really don't get it, man. Someone please tell me what this game is all about. It doesn't make any sense. I mean, half of this stuff here you can just watch in a movie, and it's literally done like way better. Like, if you're talking about a movie like, let's say for example, 21 Jump Street or Superbad or whatever, these kind of things are done way better in those movies. And I don't know why exactly, because I mean, it's the same kind of content. I think it's maybe because the dialogue is a lot better, and there's actually some more interesting stories and stuff like that, and the characters have more like commitment and dialogue and stuff like that. And Camille Cole just appears out of nowhere, and you can go ahead and you can talk to her now. So yeah, you can go ahead and talk to Camille Cole, and she says that she's like, you know, heard that like Slater has went ahead and saved the party and that kind of stuff by breaking out Rockford out of the cop car. So yeah, and this is basically just goes to the cutscene, and yeah, we're almost done here, guys. This is like very close to the end of the game. There's only like one more section left. But anyway, you can see the party here. I mean, yeah, okay, whatever. Visual spectacle, like I said like a billion times already. This is all this game does. Music and visual spectacle. There's like almost no interactivity and no gameplay or whatever. it's just so boring. But anyway, you see these three on the roof yet again, and like they're looking down and they're reminiscing over this party, and they're going to sing that they're going to be remembering it forever and that kind of stuff. And since it's Stacy's last night here or whatever, this was pretty cool and all that stuff. So yeah, and then they basically go ahead and they say like, yeah, we'll meet again. There's no issue with that. And Camille Cole basically like, tells her that, oh yeah, hey, you can go do some stuff. You guys can read that or whatever. I'm not gonna say that, but still, I think it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense here. And then this guy Kyle's back here. And he doesn't really say much. He says enjoy your time at the top. So that's it. And now basically what happens is that, but anyway, they all go ahead and they conduct some fireworks, like the other part with the car and all that stuff. And yeah, this is pretty interesting, not really, but one of them misses and just hits everything and causes a fire. And they're all sad and everything because everything is all broken and damaged and there's a huge fire and everything. And Slater's like, yo, I can pour some beer on it. And Rockford's just like, oh yeah, hey, this is like the perfect time to go ahead and play some song called Spellbound or whatever. And okay, alright, fine. There you go, track 24, Spellbound, Suxi and the Banshees or something like that. And basically what happens now is that, they're all looking and everything's on fire. It's pretty sad. Some kid says, it's the cops, and Rockford just like, run! We gotta run away! Because they're gonna be here any minute. And then it's just like, oh no, they all left us, and now we can't really do anything, and it's too late. And so basically they go ahead and they face the music here. And Cassandra goes ahead and she goes up to the cop car all, angry and everything like that, up to her dad, and goes to go and confront him and talk to him or whatever. And, this is actually like sort of an interesting scene if like there was any real significance to it. The game just basically just ends right after this, to be completely honest. Spoiler alert. But yeah, basically Cassandra just goes ahead and she completely stands up to her parents, and it's played out in like in a musical way. It was actually kind of a little interesting, to be completely honest. Yeah, sure, this game sucks, but there's a few things that are sort of interesting. So yeah, this is like the entire thing here, and then after that, Officer Marino just listens to all this stuff and he's all shocked and everything. And also they're all shocked too because they're just like, yo, Cassandra basically stood up to her dad like that. And Officer Marino is just like, oh yeah, hey, this is it, and we have an understanding. So that's it. I mean, she's basically cool with her dad or whatever, but hey, I mean, the whole place is all burned down now. So what are you gonna do, to be completely honest? Like, now he lets her party? Like, it's just shocking. When, like, everything is literally burning down to the ground or whatever, and Rockford's just like, okay, yeah, sure, is this, like, okay? And all that, and Cassandra basically talks about how she did that stuff. Slater says, like, oh yeah, hey, that's awesome. And yeah, so then they basically keep walking and I guess they find a way into the forest or something, but they're really, really, really far away from home. So how in the world are they gonna get home now? I mean, it's very, very far away, right? And they can see the, burning shed or whatever. Kind of like, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, where the shed is burned down as well. So yeah, but since it's so far, Rockford is just like, oh yeah, hey, I need to go home. And I eventually, yeah, they start flying to Joy Division. I mean, okay, fine. So how are they flying? I don't know, but this is like the visual spectacle or whatever here is sort of interesting, but I mean, who cares, bro? Like, this game is literally over at this point, and all we're doing is literally flying around. Like, what? What in the world? Like, what is this game? And by the way, you can do a barrel roll. Like, come on, man. Like, is this really happening right now? Like, what is this? This is so stupid. Like, are you kidding me? Like, this is exactly how we're gonna be ending this game here? Like, come on, man. Like, dude, this game is literally like terrible, man. Like, it's not even funny, man. And like, you don't have enough like substance. Go ahead and make anything very interesting. They just end it abruptly. They just go home and that kind of stuff like that. So, yeah, wow. What an amazing scene, IGN 10 out of 10. But anyway, nearly 3 hours later, we finally get to see the ending to this game. And basically, Rockford and Cassandra are all cool again. And basically, Rockford apologizes for ruining the road trip and that kind of stuff. And Cassandra says that, thank you for giving me the courage, for standing up to my father, and all that stuff like that. And Rockford's just like, I don't even know why I'm leaving and stuff like that. And Cassandra says that, oh yeah, hey, I'm trying to see what song would be playing next or whatever. And finally, Rockford basically says that I don't know. And Cassandra says goodbye. And I mean, if you're saying goodbye, I mean, it's kind of a little suspicious, is it not? I mean, she just literally just said, call me as soon as you get here, and she just said goodbye. I mean, why not just say, see you later? But anyway, whatever. So, yeah, she went ahead and she went through the front door or whatever that time and didn't go through the window, Slater comments or whatever. And here we go, guys. This is the ending of Mixtape. And this is also kind of, a little bit of growth for the characters. Not quite enough. Not quite enough to really be like substantial or anything like that in a short 3 hour game. Honestly, if the game was a little bit longer, maybe I would have liked it a little bit more. But yeah, basically Slater says that, oh, I don't even know how to say goodbye or anything like that. And Stacy says, just say, I'll see you tomorrow. And here we go, guys. This is the final walk here. And he basically asks, like, yo, did you pack all your stuff? And she's just like, yeah, it's already in the car, And Slater's just like, oh, yeah, that's cool. Good stuff. And you just keep on walking and walking and walking and walking some more until something happens. Oh, no, nothing happened yet. But eventually something will happen. You go to a cutscene here. And guess what? Slater goes ahead and gives Rockford the entire album for his music, and she is pretty happy about that and everything, and she's even just debating why should she even be going and leaving and that kind of stuff. So yeah, here's the last part of the entire game, guys. I mean, this is supposed to be very interesting. I mean, IGN gave this game a 10 out of 10. So yeah, let's see exactly what happens here. I'm really interested, and apparently it's another mini game that says don't let go. So, we're gonna be staying, I guess. That's what's gonna happen, and then it says let go, and then you let go. And basically that is it. That is the end of Mixtape. She basically says see you tomorrow, and that is it. That is literally Mixtape, guys. Wow, 3 hours, and that is the ending of Mixtape. I mean, are you serious? Is this really happening right now? What in the world was this game, dude? Like, I mean, like I said, guys, there's very, very little reason to play this game, in my opinion. I really think that this game might as well just be an industry plant, to be completely honest. The way how people talk about this game is like literally them talking about how they talk about the best games of all time. And honestly, Mixtape is not one of the best games of all time. Mixtape is probably one of the worst video games, if you can call it that, ever made. The way how Mixtape works is that it wants you to feel the vibes. It does not want you to feel the gameplay. It wants you to feel the vibes of music that they did not create, of the visual spectacle, which only matters if you just want to see the graphics. It only works if you want to see it one time. In a game like, let's say for example, Doom the Dark Ages, for example, okay? You have the visual spectacle, you have the gameplay, you have the story. Okay, sure, the story is not quite as strong, but again, even in this game, the story is very weak, okay? If you talk about games like Elden Ring, there's reasons to replay them because you can go ahead and you can play them over and over and over and over again to improve. But in Mixtape, the only reason to replay this game is maybe just to get the achievements, and even then, I don't even really care about achievements, to be completely honest. I think Mixtape is a complete failure, and this game is definitely an industry plant. I don't know how this game is getting all 10s and stuff like that. I think I have a suspicion, but I think I will reveal that in another video. But yeah, guys, this video has been my longest video yet. I mean, wow, almost like an hour and 45 minutes. This is like a very, very long video for me. My longest video before this was like around 30 minutes, so this is like almost an hour plus over the time. So yeah, wow, guys, thank you so much for watching, and please stay subscribe for some more content like this. You can see my entire unedited reaction to Mixtape with the original music in the comments down below and in the description down below. But yeah, guys, that's going to be it for me for now. Thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comments down below what you guys thought of Mixtape. Do you guys love it? Do you guys hate it? I'm very, very interested in your thoughts, guys. Please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.